So I wasn't completely sold on new accessories for my EUC. However, I've been pleasantly surprised by these two by PidZoom. I'll be going over the features, some shortfalls, and how and why I'll be incorporating these into my future riding. This is the PidZoom Fingerhorn and charging enhancer.
I actually felt like I was being beeped at.
Oh, you were annoyed? And the first thing I did was dunk some water over it. I wasn't too sure about the charging enhancer at first, but yeah, I've really turned around on it. So how it works is it sits between your charger and your PEV. That's just integrated right in my setup, and I will be continuing to use it. What's up everyone, I'm Jono, and full disclosure, these products were sent to me for review purposes, but as usual, all my words are my own and no restrictions on my comments. So I'd like to start out with the charging enhancer, and I'm excited about the Fingerhorn too, but we'll get to that later. But firstly, PidZoom was founded by Bob Yan, who we all know from the InMotion head position during the V13 launch. So it's exciting to have a PEV dedicated company for us. And I wasn't too sure about the charging enhancer at first. I was thinking, why do I need that? But yeah, I've really turned around on it, and I'll tell you why. It's because I just sort of set it and forget it. So I was using a cheap dial timer to try and roughly get my voltage about 90% for storage, and because I'm on a hill, so I didn't want to get the over voltage on the downhill straight away. So that's been really cool. So how it works is it sits between your charger and your PEV. So it's got a good range of voltage up to 200 volts for the CE200 and up to 20 amps. So I asked them, well, how about fast chargers? And they said, no, it's only rated for your stock chargers. But come on, if it fits within the specs, you could probably get away with it. But just make sure to maintain your maximum amp output for your plugs. You might have to go for the double adapter. So there are a quirk with it, and that's, say I set it to 150 volts. I looked on the wheel and it was about 148 volts, so about 2 volts under. That means that you might have to just test it and then overshoot the voltage a little bit to dial it into where you want it. So that's what I've been doing, and just setting it and forgetting it. I set the amperage at 5.5, so about 10% over what the stock charger is rated at. And so it's got that overcurrent protection as well. If it detects any problems, it cuts off the charging process. So really good peace of mind, because the advice is to stay by your electric vehicle while charging the entire time. And come on guys, who's going to do that? Luckily I'm charging in a concrete garage. However, having the extra charging enhancer just really gives me a bit more peace of mind. So I do have a couple recommendations to make it good to great. What I'd do is change it to a rotary dial, because when you're setting the voltage, it's a little bit finicky, just tapping away at the plus minus button. So you hold the set button and then you go into the edit mode, so you can dial in your voltage, the current protection, and change a few other settings. Then you can also keep track of how much watt hours is going into the battery. So they're suggesting in one use case is to fully deplete the battery, fully charge it, and then you can see how much capacity has gone into your battery for battery health. All right, so when you're buying it, you can choose different plugs. So let's say for my e-scooter, I would select some extra plugs for that one. However, this is my next recommendation to upgrade it. I would like a preset option. So let's say I'm switching between my EUC and the e-scooter. I'd like to set up a profile, so I just have the 60 volt profile and then the 150 volt. So that way, switching between the two, I can just hit the preset button and it'd be ready to go. But not too much of a hassle, still fully functional and usable without that one, but we can always improve things. So I know some of the guys have been using a smart charger. I just like the fact that I don't have to log into my phone, and I don't think I have Wi-Fi in my garage because it's all concrete. So that also sits between the wall and the charger, so it's not actually monitoring the voltage and current out of the charger in the same way. That's just integrated right in my setup, and I will be continuing to use it. So after testing it for about a week, I'm very happy with it and decided to affiliate with PidZoom. So it's code Jono if you are interested in that one. All right, let's move on to the finger horn. This one really surprised me. All right, we just did the car test. So how did that sound, Matt, when I was beeping?
It sounded annoying, actually. Like the horn was getting into the car, right?
With the windows
Up.
up?
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah, I actually felt like I was being beeped at.
Okay, by an actual road user?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was working.
Any time that it didn't catch your attention or it was too quiet?
No, only when you were back off.
All right, I've really come to like the finger horn, and that's a big surprise to me because I didn't really think I'd need it. I have been using this bell for every ride. So, you know, being safety orientated and pleasant, polite is always a big factor of riding for me. When I was opening up the box, I was very impressed with the packaging and the quality that was apparent and just the thought that went into it. So it comes with two mounting options. You have the flexible mount, which I've been using on the EUC, and then a fixed stem mount, which for example I'd use on the e-scooter. And to attach that, you do have to unscrew two Phillips head screwdrivers, which it doesn't come with the package, so you will need that tool, but not a big deal. I did have some concerns that it might flex a little bit in the single bolt connection, but I have to just see how that holds up. Now it is USB-C rechargeable, and it's got the 2 button options. So the wired button, which is pretty cool. So for the e-scooter, I would wire it in, and that way you don't have to worry about the charge on your remote. And that worked just fine straight away. Just plugged it in. Good watertight connection there. Now for the EUC, I am using this Bluetooth button. So it's got good connectivity. Every time I hit it, it does fire off the horn, and it's pretty tactile on the main button. You can feel it easily. I thought maybe I would accidentally hit the alarm because it does have a motion sensor alarm. So let's talk about it for a second. Yeah, so if you parked up somewhere, you can activate the alarm, and then if it moves, it will start a siren going off. Now, I have in the past used just a cheap Amazon alarm, and they're very high pitched, about 115 decibels, very sensitive. They do have adjustable sensitivity, so not the Fingerhorn 60. It's got the one sensitivity, and it's relatively stubborn to set off, which is good and bad because I found with the other ones, just some wind could actually set them off. However, this does take a little bit of bashing around to set off. So it does go into standby mode after about 40 minutes to save battery. Speaking of which, I haven't charged it out of the box. I've been using it for about a week and it's been going great. And the first thing I did was dunk some water over it because this is going to be on the EUC, copping a beating, getting wet, and we're going to need to know that it's waterproof. So it held up fine from that test, and it's IPX5, which I think I went a bit overboard with my test, but it's been holding up, so that's why I did it. Now, once it starts moving, then it automatically wakes up. It's been really effortless. I love that because I don't have to think about it too much. It's just working. And my main complaint is, well, it's EUC specific. It's the mounting here, because if I come off, it's going to get absolutely belted. So I want to try and mount it more under the light, maybe forward a bit. We'll need a custom mount job for that. So that's just up to your own tinkering handyman skills. It does feel hefty, a bit of weight to it, high quality. And when it actually comes to the horn, I wouldn't use it in a quiet setting like this. It's more for noisier environments, coming up behind cyclists at speed, and that's what I'll cut to now. This is the exact environment where the bell doesn't cut it and I would want to use the finger horn. So very loud, exposed, faster speeds. So I did a 50 range test, 25 paces and 10 paces. And I also just came up on a lady bicycle just back there, used the horn further back and closer. Could I ask you a question?
Sure.
Oh, I'm just reviewing this horn. I was wondering if you were able to hear it.
Yes, only because I had my headphones and I could only hear it when you're right close.
Oh, okay. Did it startle you or were you annoyed?
No.
Oh, okay.
Because I have the headphones in, it's a bit muffled. And then I was like, what is this?
Ah.
Oh, okay.
Great, thank you. Had the chance to ask her and she said she only heard the close-up horn. And as you find with so many people these days, she had earphones in, makes it even more difficult to hear anything going on around her. So it is quite loud, 120 decibels. And I really do like the tone. It sounds like a real motorcycle horn, quite loud, not dinky like some of those e-scooter horns. But that is a slight problem because people might get confused and think that it's traffic on the road and not actually on the footpath. So this is when I want to use it, let someone know I'm passing at speed because they just won't hear the bell. And you can also anticipate if there's anything coming up and you want to notify, someone not to walk right in front of you or avoid an emergency situation like a kid running out onto the footpath. Obviously, always take defensive stopping maneuvers. All right, so a big risk with wearing things on your fingers during riding is the amputation hazard. However, even this seems well thought out. I did a test and the band seems to stretch really well and seems like it'll pull apart in the event of a crash. So I would wear it on my right hand if I was going to wear it in a situation I'd need to use it all the time. However, I've opted just to attach it permanently to the wrist guard, so it's always there ready to go because there's already so much for me to think about putting my gear together. Now, less ideal position here, so that means that thanks mate. That means it takes me an extra second to find it and activate it. However, if it's an emergency situation, just take all measures to avoid it, such as maneuvering and braking in the first place. So it's more in certain situations that I'd be using the finger horn. So I was a bit worried about how much it would bounce and flex, but it's got a bit of movement. However, it is staying quite well positioned there, and you can tighten it down quite a bit and it sounds like I'm getting a low battery warning. After I use the horn, it does beep, so it lets you know when to charge it up. USB-C, really like that charging port. What would I do to improve it? Well, if I want to just give a friendly, quick double beep, I can't really do that. Here's what it sounds like if I hold it down. That's pretty good, but if it could be a bit more quick, and I can't do a long blast. It only does the pulsing beeps. If you hold it down, it's just like this. That's pretty good, I guess, but if you want to just let it rip, you can't do that. I'll also just arm the motion sensor so you can hear what that sounds like. So that's armed, and it's going to start going off in a second. And then I just tap the disarm. If you accidentally hit that, that's all that'll happen. Not a big deal. All right, guys, so I'm pretty stoked with this. I will keep using it. I'd like to mount it better, but really happy with it. The quality. Pleased to affiliate with KidZoom. So if you're interested in it, use code Jono. And thanks so much. Ride safe, and I'll catch you next time.